Hi there, this is a little video just to try and explain our maths for today. I couldn't find any good videos to link with this well enough in the way I wanted to do it. So I just wanted to run over this and kind of give you an opportunity to have a go with this. Now we will be looking at this again in the next couple of weeks when we get back to school. But it'd be great if we all had a go because I actually know we've got the skills for this, even though it may look absolutely petrifying. So you'll see in your task you've got questions like this on your slides. So find a thousandth of these amounts. So find a thousandth of £50,000. What? And if you look at the challenge, 1,000th of the town's population is that. How many were not born? You've got the skill for this because in year 5 and year 4, you know how to times and divide by 10, 100, and 1,000. This is a skill we worked on a lot. Whoops. And you can also I've seen you all on your whiteboards and in lessons. You can do this. Okay. So when it says find a thousandth of a number, well, we know from this week's learning at home that 1,000th is one thing split up into 1,000 pieces, and obviously I can't even begin to draw that on here. 1,000 tiny pieces. Okay, so that one, I'm going to change how I said it. That one thing has been divided into 1,000, divided by 1,000. Okay, so we are dividing by 1,000. Just as a little recap, if we had a look at something like 40 divided by 10, you know that there's a decimal point at the end of every number. So divide by 10, you move the decimal one place because there is 1 0 in the divide by 10. If it was 40 divided by 100, there's our 40. There are 2 zeros in 100, so I will jump twice, and the answer will become 0.4 or 0.4. Likewise, if we were going to times, it would be the other way. For today, though, we need divide. So if we do that, we know then that if we're going to divide by 1,000, oops, what have I done there? Got carried away. There we go. We're going to jump 3 times, remembering every whole number has a decimal at the end, even if you don't see it. So let's take this one for example. So 50,000. We need to find 1,000th of that. So we need to divide 50,000 into 1,000. If we divide this by 1,000, we will find what 1,000th of this is. 1,000th of it is. So remember, 50,000 has a decimal point and infinite zeros. Go off the screen. And we're off. Divide by 1,000, we've got 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So, 1,000th of 50,000 is £50. And you could check that, because you could do the inverse. You could then times 50 by 1,000. Bung 3 zeros on the end. Pow, you've got 50,000 again. So, everybody, and I mean everybody, can have a go with all of these ones. Okay, you are dividing all of these by 1,000. If you didn't understand what you needed to do, you are dividing all those numbers by 1,000. Which, as we've just done, and we've done loads in school, requires no actual calculation in terms of adding, subtracting, multiplying, anything. Okay? The challenges still involve dividing by 10, 100 or 1,000, but all I'm going to say is read the question. For example, this first one. 1,000th of the town were born on this date. How many people were not born on that date? So you need to find 1,000th, how many people were born on that day, and then you need to do another thing with that number. So the challenges, are all 2-step problems. I had these ready for anyone who needed to. So what is 1/10 of 300? Well, that is 300 divided by 10. Move the decimal place, becomes 30. 1/10, that means we're dividing by 10. What is 100th? Well, that means we're dividing by 100. Okay. This was one example I made that's a little bit like the challenges. So there are 5,324 people at the gym. A tenth of them are about to leave. Now remember, a tenth means you've divided something by 10. So the question actually is 5,324 divided by 10. Find what 1/10 is. And as you should know, move their decimal place, 532.4. We can't have 0.4 of a person. So I'm going to put 532 because I'm rounding down. Okay, if there was more than half a person, I'd round that up. Okay, right, I hope that video helps. If you're still sitting there going, what? Then maybe if you can grab an adult and they have a look at it with you just for a couple of minutes so they can see how to try and help with you. If then you're really, really still stuck, we're going to look at it in school, please don't worry. But I know every single one of you guys can times and divide by 10, 100,000. And you don't need to times, you just need to divide. Okay? Give it a go for me, guys, and well done.